So if you are watching on YouTube, hello, we're gonna do this warm-up. It's gonna be 4 rounds, 4 movements. First one is gonna be 5 inchworm press-ups. So for that, I'm gonna start standing, bring my hands to the ground, and when I get there, I'm gonna walk out to the top of a push-up, and then I'm gonna do a push-up, or I'm gonna do a negative, just lowering and then resetting, however, or I could do a push-up from my knees and then pop back into that plank, and then I'm gonna tiptoe my feet in, trying to keep them straight as long as I can, looking for like a little stretch in my hamstrings. We're gonna do 5 of those. So I've done 1. Let's do 4 more. There's 2. 3. 4. And 5. Then we're going to do 5 windmills. If you have a weight, you can certainly hold it in your hand. I'm going to use an imaginary one to start with, but I'm bringing my feet wide. If my weight is on the right side, I'm going to point my toes to the left, away from my weight. I'm going to bring it overhead. Then I'm going to use my free hand, just take the back of my hand and trace the inside of that opposite leg. My shoulder will turn as I lower down. Some people like to look up at it. That's just fine if that helps you feel stable. We're going to do 5 on each side. I think this is number 5 for me. And I'm going to switch. Okay, then I'm going to do 5 broad jumps or a variation. So a broad jump is just jumping forward as far as you can. I know not everyone can jump where they're at. So if that's the case for you, let's do 5. I'll give you 2 options. You could do a sprawl, which is going to be hands to the ground, kick your feet back, come back, stand up. Or you can do what we'll call a lazy burpee, which just means I'm going to bring myself to the ground, just kind of like that, and then I'm going to bring myself up. Kind of not worrying about speed or anything like that, kind of just a very loosey-goosey burpee, definitely stepping back, stepping in, not worrying about being graceful at all. But either way, we're going to do 5. Let's do it. There's 2 for me. 4. 5. All right, then we're going to do some book openers. So for a book opener, I'm going to get onto my side, and I want to make sure that all the rotation is coming from my upper back. So everything below, like my collarbone, I'm just going to think about that staying in place. So I'm going to make my book, and then from here, I'm opening up my book as far as I can, and then coming back. So our goal is not necessarily to open our book. I think a lot of people think like, I got to open my book as far as I can. So they rotate. Now I've rotated all up in here, and that's not what I want, because now I'm not getting the stretch through my shoulder and the extension in my upper back. So we're going to do 5 per side, just going as far as we can, as long as we're keeping that rotation in the upper back area. Okay, we're gonna do 3 more rounds. So 5 inchworm press-ups, 5 windmills, 5 of our broad jump or variation, and then 5 book openers. I'll count for myself, but if it doesn't match with you, don't sweat it. Let's start with those inchworm press-ups. Here we go. 5 of them. Looking for a stretch in our hamstrings on the way down and on the way up. There's 2. 3. 4. And 5. Then windmills. There's 2 for me. 3. 4, looking for that stretch. 5. And then on the other side. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Now our broad jump variation, whether it's the sprawl, burpee, or the broad jump itself. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now our book openers, 5 per side. Forgot to count. I'm on 2 on the second side. And there's, all right, 2 more rounds. 5 inchworm press ups. Here we go. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 5 windmills per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, sloppy burpee. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Book openers. 5 per side. It's 1 for me. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more. 5 in each room. Press ups. I was hoping this would be a slightly longer, gradual warm up. I think it's working. So. Here's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Windmills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Broad jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And book openers. 5 per side. There's 5 on my first side. All right. So it is Thursday. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer workout, but we're gonna have some rest built in. So how it will work is we're gonna have a set amount of work to complete, and we're gonna start a new round every 4 minutes, 5 times. So we'll do the work, rest for the remainder of that 4-minute period, and then each on the 4, we'll start a new one. So how it's gonna go is it's gonna start with 5 burpees. If you have a weight and you wanna use it, we can do 5 double press. And then 10, what I can't think of a better name, just forward hops over an object. And it doesn't have to be over an object either. And I'll show you those before we get started. Then 15 jumping lunges, or if you have a weight, it could be 15 thrusters. Then we kind of go back down. So 10 forward hops over an object, 5 burpees or thrusters if you're using a weight, and then rest for the remainder. So every 4 minutes for 5 rounds, 5 burpees or 5 double press, 10 of these forward hops, 15 jumping lunges or thrusters, then 10 forward hops, then 5 burpees or double press, and then rest. So 5, 10, 15, 10, 5. So let's talk about these movements. If you're going to do a burpee, we're going to hit the deck, chest and thighs to the ground. You can definitely step back or step in. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of peel myself up, snap my hips shut, stand up, jump and clap. If you want to do a double press, since we'll be doing a single hand version, how it'll work is I'm going to do a burpee with one hand on my weight. If you have a kettlebell, I don't recommend keeping your hand on it. It's just the handle's too high and could slip. So just do your burpee next to it if you have a kettlebell or like any sort of unwieldy odd object. So I'm doing my burpee, and then I'm going to snap my hips shut, but then I'm going to pull my dumbbell into the pocket, same as if I was doing like a Russian swing. So it'll be here, and then I'm going to stand up and pop it up overhead. So at speed, that movement looks like that. Then for my next rep, I'm just going to bring it to the ground and repeat. So you can split it up however you want. You're going to do 5 at the start and 5 at the end. So if you want to do one side for your first 5 and the other side for the 5 at the end, that's just fine. But you can split them up however you like. That's the double press. Then forward hops over an object. They seem silly, but I feel like when your heart rate is really elevated, they are pretty tough. So they're literally what they sound like. I've got an object, and sometimes we'll do like lateral hops. This is just a forward hop. It's not necessarily as aggressive as like a broad jump, but I'm just gonna go over my object, then I'm gonna turn around, face it again, over my object. And like I said, you don't even necessarily need an object. You can just jump over an invisible line on the floor. If you don't have something to jump over, we could maybe replace it with like high knees, could be in place, or slightly more explosive. If you're gonna do that version, let's do like 30 high knees, and that's one rep is 1, 2, so left and right is 1 in that case. Then we got jumping lunges or thrusters. So if I'm doing a jumping lunge, I'm starting in the bottom of the lunge, jumping up, and then lowering, landing in the opposite lunge. That takes a lot of hip stability and mobility. So if you feel like just doesn't feel right, or it feels particularly wobbly or anything like that, you can just do regular lunges. And then if you have a weight and you want to do thrusters, there's 2 options. You can do the single arm version or the 2-arm version. So if I'm doing the single arm version, I'm going to bring my weight into a racked position. I'm going to squat down and then use the upward momentum to help me send it overhead. And the 2-hand version is the same idea. I've just got 2 hands on my object, so I squat down and send it overhead. So 15 jumping lunges or thrusters. Once we've completed those, we're going back up with 10 forward hops, and then 5 burpees or double press, and then we're going to rest for the remainder of our 4-minute period. Cool. Make sense? All right. Let's thinking I might just put 4 minutes on the clock and reset it every time. Will I forget? We'll find out. Okay, let's start with round one in 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, here we go. 5 burpees or double press. Nice job. Whew. Whew. Okay. That feels like fitness. 90 seconds to rest. Whew. All right, 30 seconds to rest. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1. Round two. Ugh. Great work. Two down. Ooh. All right, 20 seconds. Round three coming up. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Woo. Nice job. Here you go. Nicely done. Whew. 2 more. 1 minute to rest. Oh. Feeling a little lightheaded, so I'm going to go very easy on this one. Too much coffee, not enough breakfast, I guess. All right, 10 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Round number 4, second to last round. Nice job. Yeah. Nice work. There we go. Nice. Whew. 4 down. 1 to go. All right, 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last round is the best round. Nice. Looks great. There we go. Nice. Done. All right. Crushed it. I'm going to keep that running just in case anyone on the YouTube is watching and still going. If you want a little mobility, today it'll be a straddle. I'm going to show you standing. It could definitely be done seated, but legs are super wide. And then I'm just going to, while keeping my legs straight, I'm just going to sink down in the middle, maybe pulling a stretch into my hamstrings, maybe into my low back. And once you're down here, you can also kind of explore, maybe move off to one side a little bit, hang out for a few breaths, move to the other side, hang out for a few breaths, and just kind of hang out. If you got to pop out of there and let the blood leave your head, that's all good.